Hello everyone, it's Shotzi for the Rough Cuts on Sunday. Hope you all have had a great week. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different that I don't believe we've done on this channel yet. But Rob, you really forced my hand on this one. I'm going to issue a rebuttal of Roman Holiday. This is a great movie. It really is a truly wonderful movie, and it epitomizes the term classic film. It stars Audrey Hepburn, Gregory Peck, also Eddie Albert, and of course the beautiful city of Rome. It was from 1953, directed and produced by the legendary William Wyler. He also did movies such as Mrs. Miniver, The Best Years of Our Lives. He always did really, really great work, and Roman Holiday is no exception. It's a wonderful movie. You have the princess who's played by Audrey Hepburn in the story, and she is basically tired and bored of living the incredibly structured life that royalty entails, and everything is scheduled for her, even down to like her bathroom breaks. And so one night she just kind of loses it. They sedate her, and when she's in a kind of stupor, she escapes. And she happens to bump into Gregory Peck, of course, that's how the story goes. And he takes pity on her, but he's kind of annoyed at the same time. And he ends up taking her home so that she doesn't get in trouble, she doesn't get arrested. And so that is the introduction to this story. Gregory Peck is kind of an embittered newspaper reporter from the US, and he's over in Rome struggling to try to make ends meet. He's just very blasé about everything. Who on earth is like messaging me at like 5:30 in the morning? Okay, he's just very blasé about everything. And when the two of them start to talk to one another, he doesn't know who she is, and she's just kind of out of it at the time. And then the next morning, he's late to his engagement for his newspaper report, and he goes into work. He finds out that she's a princess, and then he's just like, holy crap, I have to go get her and follow her so I can get this scoop on the story. So they both lead on this ruse all day long, but out of this, they're able to develop a true respect, a true friendship of one another, and a real love for each other, and they have fun. And it just shows how a chance happening, even if it's a complete lie, that just one day in your life can truly change your life forever. And in the end, it's kind of a sad ending, really. It's a very realistic ending, but it just shows how one chance happening, it can really make you a better person in the end. And one of the reasons why this movie was so popular at the time, not just because of Audrey Hepburn, this was her first starring role. Granted, she had been like in like bit parts in smaller movies before. This was her first starring role, and she even got billing above the title, which is basically unheard of for an unknown. And she's just so charming. She's incredibly charming in this. And before, it was widely released, people who had seen rushes from the movie, people who had been privileged enough to see the entire film, they knew that she was going to get the Oscar. And also at the time, Princess Margaret, yes, your own Princess Margaret, Rob, she was in love in a very public relationship with the commoner Peter Townsend, which of course ended, because she couldn't marry a commoner. And so that really tied in well with the whole publicity for this movie. So that was another reason why this was so incredibly popular. And one great thing about this movie that's really sad is that it was written by the spectacular Dalton Trumbo, who was blacklisted because of the Hewitt Committee, the House Un-American Committee, when basically they were doing a witch hunt of Hollywood at the time of people who were either communists or communist sympathizers, or who they believed to be. And because he wasn't naming any names, he was blacklisted. But of course, during that time, he wrote, I think it was something like 18 other screenplays, but he could never take credit for it. And in fact, with this movie, he was never given credit. He won an Oscar, but no one knew that he wrote this until 40 years later, and he was dead by that time. And so it wasn't until 1993 when his wife was finally issued an Oscar for him for when he won for the screenplay for this. But, he wrote, like, amazing movies. Spartacus, also, The Brave One was another one that he wrote. He wrote a lot of just really, really great stories. And this is a spectacular movie. And of course, you have the setting of Rome. And that's one reason why they did this movie in black and white, was because they didn't want the actors to compete with Rome. And, it's just gorgeous, gorgeous. The costumes by Edith Head were amazing. The setting was amazing. Everything just went really, really beautifully together. I mean, even Audrey Hepburn's stamps. Yes, I'm a big dork and I have this. This is the shot that they used, from Roman Holiday with that, her little cropped haircut. And that was a really popular style when this movie came out. She made that look really popular. But, definitely watch this movie, Rob. Watch the whole thing because it's a great movie. Audrey Hepburn is so incredibly charming. Gregory Peck is awesome as usual. Eddie Albert playing like this bohemian photographer. He even grew a beard and his hair out long for this movie. It's an awesome, awesome movie. And, Rob, the reason why Audrey Hepburn is so skinny was because during the war, she was working with the resistance, and she was in a ballet school at the time. She came from a very well-off family. And while she would dance for the Germans, and the money that she earned from that, she would give to the underground. So she was very malnourished during the war. And so because of that, she was developing at that time. And because of that, she always stayed very, very slim, really kind of skinny throughout the rest of her life. And then especially when she got older and, had cancer and eventually passed away, she was always very, very waif. But, she's just utterly charming in this. And also, this movie is historically important because you see a lot of Italian nobility that are in the ballroom scene. That's actual Italian nobility in that movie. And so you don't have a lot of film footage of them at the time. So definitely give this movie a go. Watch the whole thing past the first 25 minutes. And it doesn't have a happy ending. But it's a kind of satisfying ending in a way. Very bittersweet, but it's realistic. So I think you'll enjoy it. Just give it a chance, and I will see you all next week. Hopefully I'll be finished unpacking by then. So I'll see you all then. Bye.